Okay, today we're going to talk about Egypt's warrior pharaohs, the military kings who forged an empire. See, Egypt had several powerful kings who were renowned for their military achievements and expansion. So in a few, we're going to get into that. I'm very excited about this. We're going to talk about the kings list. We're going to talk about my five favorite pharaohs of Egypt. Let's get to it. Let's get to the business. All right, I am very excited about you guys being here. And here's some of the questions. Who were these mighty pharaohs? Who were they? And what is the meaning of insectability? A lot of people have been asking me that. A lot of you guys have been asking me that question. What is this term insectability? And what's your king's list? What's your king's list? I have mine, okay? But we're going to get into it. Let's go. All right, the king's list, okay? King's list is a chronological list of pharaohs of ancient Egypt who inscribed on monuments and papyrus. One of the most famous versions of it is the royal canon of Turin, or the papyrus of Turin, dating from the 19th dynasty, which provide the names of kings from the earliest periods to the New Kingdom, though many names are missing and or damaged. All right, so a lot of names are missing and or damaged, but we're going to get into your king's list in a second. Another notable version of this is the Abydos King's List, which is the most famous one where we see Ramses II and his father. He's going through the knowledge. He's going through the information. And that's carved on the walls of the temple of Seti I at Abydos, which includes 76 pharaohs from the first dynasty all the way to the 19th. 76 rulers from the first dynasty all the way to the 19th. Now, keep in mind, we as scholars, we don't really ascribe to the term dynasty. We may go into it, we may say golden age, like Dr. Ben would say golden age, right? But these lists serve various purposes, including legitimizing a ruler's reign. I said this many times, you have to be received and respected by the people and by the Kari Heb or the priest. And if they provide a historical record and commemorating past pharaohs. But get this, we know who's on the list. All right, we know who's on the king's list, but we also know who's not on that list. Okay, now we know Seti the first, we know Tutmosis the third, Amenhotep the third, and Narmer, and many Khufu and many others. They were on that list, but the people who weren't on the list. The people that weren't on the list were, say, foreigners. They were insurrectionists. The Hyksos, they weren't on that list. Matter of fact, your girl Cleopatra, she wasn't on that doggone list. I'm saying why? Because she was a foreigner. She was not recognized as the pharaoh or ruler of Kemet. But on the flip side, though, I learned this, though. I found out that King Tut wasn't on the list. He was on certain lists, but not all of them, okay? I think because of his connection with his father, that, guilty by association kind of thing. But let's get it. Let's go. All right. Traditionally, we hear the term pharaoh and it's defined as great house, but the title really is Insut or Insut Biti. That means of the sage and bee. They're symbols of the upper and lower Egypt, y'all. That symbol there, you see the bumblebee or the bee and the that reed there, okay? That is the symbol of Upper and Lower Egypt, okay? And Insubiti or Neb Tawi, okay? Neb means Lord, MB, Neb means Lord. Insub means throne, and Tawi is king of the north and south. And there's a lot of pharaohs. There's a lot of kings, but very few people held the title of king of north and south. And we're going to talk about talk about the five people that actually flexed that muscle. And they said, bro, I'm the king of the north and south. Who going to stop me? All right. This means he or she has the power and control of upper and lower Kemet. That is the Aswan area into Nubia, all the way up into Alexandria. They have power of that area. Let's go. Now, Egypt had their mighty pharaohs. They had a series of names, okay? When we look at these names, one of their given name was the name given, their mama gave them that name, given at birth, and then their throne name or their golden name, the name that was officially used when they was once crowned as the king or queen of Egypt, the Insubiti of Kemet. And so they had their mama name, the mama that gave them their name, and then their official name. Like many others monarchs now, we have Elizabeth. She has her name, but traditionally they put on another title. Okay, now so Hatshepsut, say her name. This is one of my favorites. She's not the first queen of Egypt. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that she's not the first pharaoh of Egypt. Okay, we're gonna talk about the queens of the South too, but let's get down. So Queen Hatshepsut's throne name was actually Matkara Sarah Hatshepsut Kanem or Kanum Amen. All right, Matkara Sarah Hatshepsut or Kanem or Kanum, meaning justice, spirit of God, son of the sun, the house of childbirth, fertility of the hidden one. Okay, it wasn't just Hatshepsut. She had a fully realized name, right? All right, let's continue. So now, in the book, according to, because we're still in the book, okay, we're still in the book, Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Cushite Empire, according to Sir J. Gardner Wilkinson, the civilization advanced northward from the Thebaid to Lower Egypt. So many people, even 100 years ago, said that the culture and the power came from the south. Hieroglyphics show that in Upper Egypt were the older cities. Remember, Kemetic culture came from the south. Insubiti Menes founded Mennefer or Memphis, but the royal city was in the south, where the place where kings ruled long before Menes. Okay, Menes inherited this culture. He came with it. All right, it wasn't. It didn't evolve over time. It got better, but the culture came from their mother, which is in Nubia. All right, in the third dynasty, there was a Libyan revolt showing that Egypt held dominion beyond the Nile River. So a lot of people would like to, they would like to just make borders and place borders, and Egypt stays in Egypt. No, when these kings had full reign, they ran it. But understand that there were other cultures, African nations in and around Kemet that may or may not like another king telling them their king what to do. So they threw hands. You know, the king of Egypt said, you got an option. You got two options. You're either gonna catch this bus or catch these hands. So yeah, they chose to throw hands. But I'm wondering, did these skirmishes cause an ongoing war along the Nile River? Yeah, there was a series of Nile River wars. Shout out to my brother Mo. He asked, was there some infighting happening along the Nile River Valley? Yes, there was. And we're going to talk about that too. All right, let's get it. All right, now the fourth dynasty was when the knowledge of the pyramids was perfected. Perfected, not invented. Perfected, not invented. Okay? The Grandmaster Imhotep, he put this all together, but he inherited that information. This was 10,500 plus years of information. So he got it from somebody else that like the shout out to the fam that studies Naphtha Playa in Sudan. They already had rock monuments situated to follow the stars. Okay, it just got bigger and bigger. Just like when kids do rough drafts of artwork, it just gets better and better over time. Okay, so yeah, it was perfected for sure. I'm gonna tell you, aliens didn't make that. Okay, let's have this conversation. Africans made this stuff. All right. So the fourth dynasty, the knowledge of the pyramid building was perfected, and unfortunately, I'm gonna say Khufu, as grand as he is, love the man, but he was not on my list. I'm just saying to yikes. I'm sorry. All right, now get this. The Temple of Isis was already established by the Heru and Makhet, according to the book. Now, I talked about this also. There has been some excavations going on in and around the Sphinx, and they found a building. I'm going to tell you that is the Temple of Aset. Now, according to Houston, both were built by an earlier monarch. the Temple of Isis and the Heru Imaket, or the Sphinx, was built by someone else. I know the Europeans like to say that Menkaure or somebody else, somebody during the Pyramid Age built the Sphinx. They did not. Kemet, as an empire and a nation, is older than what they're telling us. All right, let's continue. Now, here's some others. Amenemhat the first, one of the Cushite blood, ruled Egypt southward as Lord of two lands. So he is one of the people who were of Cushite heritage. He came, his mother was Cushite, his father was Cushite, and so he came with power. Okay, so now remember, most of the royal people who was recognized and started these dynasties, their parents and their lineages came from the south. All right, here's another one. Now, when the two lands were drifting apart, of course, there was some infighting. We're going to talk about that. But when they were drifting apart, when Nubia was stopped communicating with Kemet, and Kemet stopped communicating with Taneter or Punt of Somalia, they had to unite. So Amenemhat the second and third, as well as Sitsen the first, brought them back together. That's why they had their title, the King of the North and South. They were just not just diplomatically putting it together, they had to culturally reunite the people. There was some things going on, some misunderstandings, some confusion, but they had to happen. And keep in mind, another reason why they were so successful, they were Ethiopian and of Nubian heritage. They wasn't just going to let a random individual from the Mediterranean come through there and say, hey, we need to get it together. Now, that's the book. Now, I have a few of my own. See, that's the book. I'm getting to the good part. My list of military leaders, okay? The powerful pharaohs with military achievements, and they expanded and they maintained their power in Kemet. Let's get it. These, of course, these are my guys, and don't forget to write your Kings list. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like, and all the things. But tell me your Kings list. I have 5. I have 5 of them. Now, here we go. My Kings list. Sneferu. Okay, Sneferu, he was that guy. Matter of fact, we're going to get to his name. We're going to get to his name first. His name's important. Neb-Ma'at. That's his name, Neb-Ma'at. Lord of justice and balance. Sneferu. Okay, the one who has been made perfect. Okay, he reigned a long time ago, between 2613 to 2589 before Common Era. Sneferu, although he was more famous about his architectural achievements like the pyramid, but he had some military campaigns. Okay, he expanded along through Nubia and Libya. Okay, his campaigns brought vast wealth to Egypt, which contributed to the building of its pyramids and flourishing of Egypt's early old kingdom. And look at this man's face. Look at him, okay? But I'm wondering, was his interaction dealing with Nubia down the Nile River, was that part of the Nile River War? Let's talk about it. Next person. Now, Mentuhotep II. Look at him. Now, the way he has his hair, way he has his crown and everything reminds me of the brothers who used to wear the high tops back in the day, high top fade back in the 90s. This is where we got our inspiration from, children. I'm just saying to you, Mentuhotep, Sematawi, that's his name, Sematawi, okay? The uniter of the two lands. You couldn't have that title without actually united those two lands, okay? Neb-Het-Ra, that's his throne name. Neb-Het-Ra, I'm sorry, not his throne name, but that's his throne name. Neb-Het-Ra, the possessor of the rudder of Ra, and Mentuhotep, that is, Muntu is at peace. Now, he's credited with reuniting Egypt after the first intermediate period, consolidating power and launching military campaigns to secure Egypt's borders. and he founded the 11th dynasty. And again, look at this man. He look like some people I know. I'm just telling you, all right? Mentuhotep, that's my second. So they're not in order. They're not in like from the bottom to the top. I'm trying my best to put them in historical order, y'all. All right? Tell me your top 5 in a minute. All right, here we go. Amos the first, Nebpatah Ra, okay? That is the possessor of the might of Ra, okay? He was around in 1549 to 1534. But I got to say something really quick about Mentuhotep. He was buried, okay, in Del Armana, I think. Not Del Armana. I think this is the same place where Hatshepsut is buried. Remember, Hatshepsut was around 1,000 years later. That's how ancient these people are and how connected to the culture they are. He's in the 11th dynasty. Hatshepsut was in the 18th. That's about 1,000-year gap. I just thought about that, y'all. All right, continue. Amos, okay, the possessor of might of Ra, Amesu, okay? Ea is born, okay? So Amos the first, okay? He was credited with expelling. He kicked out the Hyksos. He kicked out the foreigners. That dude there. He kicked out the foreigners from Egypt and reunited the country. After the second intermediate period, his military campaigns in and out Delta against the Hyksos laid the foundation for the new kingdom. That's my guy right there. His conquest extended into Nubia. Yep, securing Egypt's southern border and gaining control of the gold-rich areas. These people was throwing hands. Yes, they was Hotep, but at the same time, they was kings and warriors too, right? So we have Amos, but this is my favorite picture. This picture right here, Amos and his wife Nefertari. If they wanted to make her white, if they wanted to make her light-skinned, I'm saying they would have made it so. But you can, of course, you guys could disagree with me in the comments and all the things, but pictures don't lie. All right, let's go. So my dude, Tuthmosis III. Now, we may disagree with his stance as to how he handled his stepmother's situation, okay? But this dude is the dude. If it was not for Tuthmosis III, I'm stand on it. There would be no Ramses II. Okay, his name was Men-Sefer or Men-Kafara, okay, the eternal creation of God, and Jehuti Mesu, a wisdom born. Shout out to my 5% fam. Shout out to the fam. Wisdom born. This dude here was regarded as the Napoleon of Kemet, and he was a historian too. According to legend, that the Sphinx was covered to his neck, and he asked the question. He said, "Look, the Sphinx gave him a quest. If he would free him from that sand, I'm paraphrasing. If he free him from the sand, he would then be the next ruler." So he did. Guess what happened? He was. So he was often regarded as the Egypt's greatest military leaders. He led at least 7 military. He led them. He was not in the back pointing to people, telling folks what to do. He led their battle in the Near East and expanded Egypt empire to the greatest territorial extent. His campaigns in Syria and Canaan established Egyptian dominance over the regions. Okay, he's also notable for the Battle of Megiddo, one of the earliest well-documented battles in history. Tuthmosis III, all right? Now, let's skip Seti the first. Seti the first, his name is Men Ma'at Ra, okay? Eternal is the truth of God. Seti Marian Ptah, Seti beloved of Ptah, all right? Now, Seti, the father of Ramses II, yes, there was Ramses the first, but Seti, he went on and established this thing and set it up to where his son could rule for that long. Yes, I get it that Ramses, he was powerful, he was great, but his father said it was a layup, all right? He was a strong military leader who launched campaigns to regain Egypt's control over territories lost during the Armada period, because Akhenaten, yeah, he was a good dude. He had a lot of wisdom, but he lost a lot of power. So Setai, he decided to reset that and get that land back, right? So I gotta get some water real quick. Now he successfully campaigned against the Hittites in the Levant, fought in Syria and secured Egypt's frontiers in both Nubia and Libya. All right, let's continue. And of course, Ursa Ma'atra, Setepin Ra, Ramesu, and Mary Amen, you know the dude. King Ramses II. Now, the Europeans try to put Ramses II, third, fourth, fifth. They just got lazy with the reading. But when they saw some letters that matched, they put numbers behind it. No. But this is Ramses II, the justice of Ra is powerful, chosen of Ra, born of God, beloved by him. Ramses, you know who he is. The dude's famous for his military campaigns, the Battle of Kadesh, fought against the Hittites and everybody else. Although the battle ended in a stalemate, it led to the first recorded peace treaty. Okay. He expanded Egypt's control in the Levant and built series of fortresses along Egypt's northeastern border. All right, that's my king's list. That's my king's list. So what's your king's list? I had Amos, Mentuhotep, Tutmosis III, Setai the first, Ramses II. Who you got? Tell me in your comments, like, comment, and subscribe. And guess what? Queens of the South. Yeah, I know the sisters was like, where are the sisters at? Yeah, we about to load them up. We about to do some work. We about to do some work with the Queens of the South. And our next book, okay, the first female pharaoh, Neferu. Okay, the link is in the description. And what's next? We're going to deal with chapter 8. More about ancient Kush. Check out Sister Danita Smith, Yahya Sabaka, AE Learning. Here's the book to Tumultus III, Ramses III, Black Man of Knowledge, his family. Yeah, we just talked about Egypt's royal pharaohs and military kings who forged the empire. You just listen to King Cam and Ujumbe podcast and Ujumbe Meets Message. Talk to you later.